when I grew up, my parents, being dyslexic, I couldn't read for a very long time. And so my parents read to us every night, which was amazing considering how hard they were working. But they'd find the time to give us, an hour of reading every night, whether it was Lord of the Rings or Sherlock Holmes or Jane Goodall. And so I grew up with Jane being this figurehead of conservation and of adventure and sort of a living historical figure, this legendary person. And so then one time, right around the time that I've been going to the jungle for a few years, I got to go see Jane speak. I think it was at NYU. And, sitting in the crowd, watched her completely amazed. And I had, at the time, my cousins had been telling me that I should write down my stories of taking care of an anteater and stories of catching anacondas. And they're like, right, these are such good stories. And so I'd been writing them down. And I just remember after the talk, she did it, at least an hour on stage, and then thousands of people lined up. Gave her this manila envelope with 2 chapters in it. And one chapter was Lulu the giant anteater from Mother of God, and the other chapter was me, JJ, and Pico out on the river catching anacondas and just talking about how amazing the jungle was. And I said, I'd love it if you could endorse my book that doesn't exist yet. And I felt like such a loser doing that. And I felt so stupid because I feel like everyone was probably asking something of her. And it's incredibly draining to talk to that many people, even if it is for a good reason. And 48 hours later, she got back and she said, this is incredible. I would love to write a recommendation for your book as soon as you find a publisher. And what happened with that is that Jane, the way I think of it is, she waved her very powerful magical wand in my direction, and she had the incredible compassion and presence to actually, after talking to that many people and being on the road 300 days a year and being Jane Goodall, this living legend scientist, to actually do something so mundane as look at some kids writing. And of course, when I went to publishers, they said, Jane, who said that they would endorse your book? Because everyone had said no. And then after that, HarperCollins took me on. And they said, well, if Jane Goodall thinks it's a good idea, then we think it's a good idea. And it became Mother of God. And then because of that, Jungle Keepers, Dax, everything else was stemmed from that. So had Jane not been the legend that she is truly in every moment, my whole career would never have happened, which also means that those thousands of heartbeats and thousands of acres in the Amazon wouldn't be protected because we never would have started Jungle Keepers.
And she did that not because you're special. She did that to everybody.